Hello, I am Karen Grace Clark with Gold Lactation Online Conference. I'm here talking today with Jessica Welborn and Melissa Cole about lactation and milk donation after perinatal.
This is Jessica. I got interested in this topic years ago after I read a book called Fresh Milk, The Secret Life of Breasts by Fiona Giles. The book of expressing and donating her milk after her baby died suddenly at 4 months. And it was an incredibly beautiful and heartfelt story of her healing through continuing to express her milk and then ultimately donating that milk to help other babies. I was incredibly inspired by the story, and I was a new graduate student. It motivated me to do some research on milk banks, and I learned that there was one in San Jose. For looking at bereaved mothers who choose to donate their milk. Majority of women who donate are healthy women with healthy babies, and then there's a small percentage of bereaved mothers who choose to continue to express and donate their milk. And that's how I got interested in the topic initially years ago at this point.
This is Melissa Cole, and for me, what I began to realize through both my own observation and the mother's articulation of their experience is the quality and continuity of care for these grieving mothers is often very poor, and I felt that this really needed to be improved upon. So that's what my goal was, that mothers were not receiving up-to-date information or options in regarding lactation after loss, and I wanted to work on improving this aspect of care during such a sensitive time.
Jessica, I know you're coming at this topic from a research perspective, and Melissa, you deal more with the hands-on aspects of working with mothers. Can you both tell me why it's important that lactation professionals understand both aspects of this topic? Jessica, maybe we'll hear from you.
So as I learned from conducting my research over many years, if you look at a perinatal loss 40 years ago, there was a lot of silence and kind of misunderstanding around working with bereaved mothers. They often weren't given the resources and the support that they needed. And through research, that began to shift. And now today, bereaved mothers are given a variety of resources and support through the process of grieving their loss. I still think there is a lot of silence and to a degree misunderstanding about lactation after loss. And so I think the research is incredibly important to shift that and make sure that women have access to resources around lactation and know their options, and especially research that incorporates the stories and the voices of bereaved mothers who personally experience the loss and then the managing lactation following their loss.
Awesome, thank you so much. And Melissa, what about you?
Yes, thank you. I think it's one and other aspects of grieving and postpartum changes following a loss will enrich clinical practice and help guide best practice. So understanding the foundations of this topic will help guide us to hopefully improve system-wide trainings and really bring this topic into the light where it deserves to be, so that mothers are not getting a one-size-fits-all care plan or receiving out-of-date information, especially during such a sensitive time following a loss. So that's my goal, is that our work will help guide clinical practice.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. In closing, could each of you ladies just give me a brief idea of how you might use the lessons that you've learned on this topic in your own professional lives? Jessica?
Let's see. You know, based on my research, I was encouraged to write a toolkit specifically for healthcare providers with information about addressing lactation with bereaved mothers. So that's sort of been a journey in itself over the last year in terms of promoting that and getting the information out there in that capacity. And I continue to consult for the Mother's Milk Bank of San Jose, and I'm also working with a developing milk bank in Missoula, Montana. And I think there's a lot more discussion now than there was about how to really work well with and support the bereaved mothers who call the milk bank interested in donating their milk, and the just increasing sensitivity and support that they need, and how milk banks can really support bereaved mothers in that capacity, even if it's just via phone and over email, and you know, and it's sort of distant support. But I think that my research and my continuing involvement with the milk bank, I've been able to see how working with bereaved mothers has evolved over the last few years, and it's
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Jessica. And Melissa, what about you? Maybe you can just finish up this interview with letting us know how you use the lessons in your own professional.
Absolutely. Thank you. Well, I do work with mothers in clinical practice and private practice, and so I certainly do get to see families go through the stages of bereavement and work with them in this way. My goal in moving forward is to bring some of this understanding, and hopefully collaborate with Jessica, and the usage of her toolkit sounds amazing, to bring this to systems, facilities, hospitals, places where mothers are often supported before I would say see them in my private practice, and bring it to professionals and really highlight this in professional training for families, for professionals working with families following a loss. So certainly the biggest lesson for me has really been to approach this in an individualized way. You know, mothers and families go through grieving stages in their own way, and it's not a one-size-fits-all for lactation care after loss. Mothers need to know about their options, and we need to really look at their individual families and personalized care that they receive.
That's excellent. Thank you, Jessica, and thank you, Melissa, for being with us today. You've definitely piqued my interest, and I know that there's going to be a lot of people listening to this interview who are going to want to hear a lot more about this topic, which of course they can do at goldlactation.com. Our conference begins on April 22nd. If you haven't had a chance to sign up yet, just head over to our website and you can register there, where you can hear both Jessica Welborn and Melissa Cole talking about this topic, as well as many other